Good morning, grade 8. Today we are going to take the second lesson on this quarter, which is about properties of matter. We know that matter is everything around us, and everything is made up of matter, and matter is everything that take up a space and has mass. So all of these matter, maybe it's liquid or solid or gas, all of them have a specific characteristics describing them, and we can identify them easily by these properties. So the matter has general properties of mass, weight, volume, and density. Other properties, so we can differentiate between them into two kinds. The first one is the physical properties, and the second one is the chemical properties. The difference between them is that the physical does not change the identity of the matter or the structure of the matter, while the chemical, we are changing the matter and determining the property, or we are talking about the structure itself. A property can describe how an object can look or feel or act, as you can see here in this picture. I can describe this picture by describing the color, the size, the shape, and so on. And if we go deeply, we are going to talk about the structure of it itself. So I'm going to talk about the chemical one. The physical property, again, is the chemical one, means that we are observing the character in the physical one, while the chemical one, you cannot observe this except if there is any change occur to the matter. So physical change, we are talking about the matter itself from outside, how it look like, how the shape of it, while the chemical, we are talking deeply into the structure and if this matter changed. So the first one we're going to start with is the physical property. It's a characteristics of a substance that can be observed without changing the identity of the substance. So we can describe the size or the texture, the color, the shape, the mass, and the volume. Mostly we are using our five senses to describe the physical properties, so we can feel the mass or volume or texture, we can see the color, we can hear the texture also or the cracking of it if the shape change, we can smell it, and we can also taste it to describe the physical property of it. So if I notice if I getting or stretching a rubber band, did I do any change to the matter itself, or I'm just changing the size or the shape? Yes, we just changing the shape or the size, so this will consider as a physical change because the matter itself does not change. Some of the physical properties you must know them and notice them is the states, if it's solid or liquid or gas, the volume, how much space it take, the mass, which is the amount of matter in an object, the color, the odor, the hardness, density, and solubility, and conductivity, ductility, luster, malleability, and the freezing, melting point, and boiling point. So all of these are considered as physical properties. If I'm asking you about them, you have to know that this is a physical, not a chemical. So let's take one by one now. If we start with the density, we know if I put different liquids in a cylinder, you're gonna find that each liquid will take a layer. This is because of the density. Each one of these liquids has the certain density, and there is a law to calculate the density equal the mass over volume. So if I want to measure the density of any liquid, I must get to this law, which is mass over volume, to calculate the density of it. So the ice cube float in the water because they are less dense than the liquid water itself, while they are both the same matter. So as we can see here, if I have a problem like this, I'm asking you, a marble has a volume of 5 cubic centimeter and a mass of 15 grams. What is the density of the marble? I have already here the volume, which is 5 cubic centimeter, and the mass, which is 15 grams. So to calculate it, I must follow the rule which said mass over volume. So the density will be 15 over 5 equal 3 grams over cubic centimeter. The second one is the ductility. What's the meaning of ductility? Is the ability to be pulled into a thin strand or to be coiled. So this character or this property is considered as a physical property. Like the wool wire, paper clip, or copper wire, you can easily coil them or pull them. The third one is the malleability. What's the meaning of malleability? Malleability is the ability to be pressed or bonded into thin sheets, like the tin foil. As we know that the aluminium is considered as a big rock. If we want to press this and make a thin sheet, this character called the malleability. Then we are going to talk about the boiling point, freezing point, and melting point. Three of these are considered as a physical properties because we are only considering the state, how they change from state to another, and the matter itself does not change. So when I boil the water, it's still the water, and if I'm freezing it, it's still also freezed, it's still the water, and the freezing and the boiling and the melting considered to them. So if I'm having the boiling point here, the boiling point is the temperature which a substance change from a liquid into gas, so I'm changing the water to a steam. While the melting point is the temperature where the substance change from solid into liquid, so the ice cube melt to a bottle of water. If I consider the freezing one is the temperature which the state or the substance changed from liquid into solid, like if I'm freezing some water, it changed to ice cube. Another property is a chemical electrical conductivity. I'm talking about the conductivity itself. If the matter allows thing to pass through it, so this matter is conductor. And if the matter does not do this, so this matter considered as an insulator. So a physical property could be as electric conductivity or also a thermal conductivity, because the matter itself, it's only allow charges or thermal energy to pass through, but doesn't change at all. The solubility also is another character. We are dissolving a matter or a substance into another one. So if I want to make a solution, I have to add a solute, which is considered as a solid most probably, and a solvent, which is always a liquid, like the common one, which is the water. So if I dissolve some sugar or some salt into the water, I will form something called solution of it. So chemical properties of the matter describe how the substance can form new substance, and it be identified by the change of this when they produced. And the chemical change is the change of one substance into another substance. So this is another thing except the physical one. Thank you for watching.